Yep, before Star Fox was remade on the N64, there was going to be an actual sequel on the Super Nintendo, but the Big N ultimately cancelled its release, until they launched the Super Nintendo Classic and decided that was a good time to let this cancelled game finally see the light of day. This is Star Fox 2 for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now the story is still the same simple plot of the original and the remake. Andross has launched an all-out attack on the Lylat system and Star Fox has to stop him. What's different starts with the overworld. You see, you're having to fly to any planet where Andross has set up a base and destroy said base while also shooting down any missiles or warships attacking Corneria. Right away you have the freedom to fly to any point of the map where hostiles are located instead of having to play through a linear battle on a planet before picking a path and doing the same thing on that planet. After destroying all bases, warships, and missiles, that's when you fly to Andross for the final battle. I'm not saying the linear planet hopping part of Star Fox is bad, I'm simply stating just how different this is from how we've come to know this series. Certainly not what I was expecting when I started playing. Its visual and audio quality is about the same as the original Star Fox. The sound is 16-bit with character blurbs and the visuals are still impressive at how they put you in a 3D space on an SNES game. My only real complaint though was that the planets all felt pretty bland. Even the first game at least tried to show something different to make the environments different. But here it's as though the name of the planet you fly to is really just a name. Now, is that due to the limitations of the early 90s machine that this was made for, or did Nintendo never do anything about this game between the cancellation and eventual release? I don't know, but it is disappointing to see such bland environments in a Star Fox game. Unfortunately, the bland environments are the norm here. No matter which planet or ship you fly to, they all kinda look the same, minus some differences in enemies in your way and maybe some different paths. You see, the game goes all in on the arcade style as it feels like a game that was meant to be played in arcades. You can play from the start to fighting Andross in about 20 minutes, but every time you play again, the enemy bases and warships spawn in different places than your last game. Well, they do keep up that fast-paced combat that we're used to, even if it is kinda sluggish with 16-bit tech. The fights against the Star Wolf team are especially challenging. Ah shit, I died. Time to respawn. Wait, game over? Continue with co-pilot? This game has a permadeath system! Yeah, that's how arcade this game is. You select 2 pilots from the Star Fox team, including the core 4 members plus whoever these 2 characters are. Then you play through the game, and if you die once, you can keep playing as the second pilot. If that pilot also dies, start the whole game again. That was actually pretty common for games in the old days, but it's just weird to see this in Star Fox. It's not necessarily bad, it's just different. Also, you can recharge your ship's shield by flying to your mothership and warping to somewhere else on the map, which is nice. Something cool though is the vehicle you use when you're on a planet. This is actually the game that first introduced the transform into a walker mechanic that was a big thing in Star Fox Zero almost 20 years later. Right down to blasting a core, then flying out as it explodes. Pretty awesome to see the origins of that, plus playing as a walker is pretty fun. Mostly because it felt the most precise to control. The space flying missions on the other hand weren't so great. This is because they force you to play in the first person perspective in space, and for some reason they made the pilot controls way clunkier than they should have been. Simply being allowed to play in the standard third-person view would fix this. Focusing on the combat itself though, it is as engaging as you'd expect from this series, but it also gets pretty repetitive rather quickly with planets all using the same basic formula for level design and warships doing the same. So this game really only works for quick pick up and play sessions, which is why it works great that it's on the Switch. Star Fox 2 is a pretty fascinating game, if only for its historical context and its concepts that it experimented with. While it won't ever be my first choice of Star Fox games, it is a fun game to play if you want to see another space shooter the 90s could have had. Might as well play for that reason if you have Nintendo Switch Online. Well, that's our review of Star Fox 2 for the SNES. If you like this review, check out my previous reviews of the original Star Fox for the SNES and Star Fox Zero for the Wii U. See you all next time!